We're here in Amsterdam with the Quarkchain Seller Network meetup. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So my name is Anthurine. So I'm the founding partner and also CMO of Quarkchain. Before Quarkchain, I had 2 years experience in Wall Street, and then I moved to Silicon Valley and joined the big company like LinkedIn and also some startups doing data science, product, and strategy. So now I have been with Quarkchain. It has been almost 10 months.
It was actually one of the most successful ICOs of this year. At least 20 million, I think.
So we raised 20 million from both private investor and also do a big public sale.
Right. So now you're in the phase of actually rolling out the technology. In what phase are you actually now, technology-wise?
Sure. So actually, we had our testnet 1.0 launch on March, even before we finished our ICO. And then the ICO finished in June 3rd, I remember, and we hit Binance right after that. So we also launched our real testnet on July. So the peak TPS for that right now is 14,000. And we already open source on September. So all the code is in GitHub. So if you're an engineer, feel free to check. Oh, by the way, we're going to have our testnet 2.0 very soon. So in that, you're going to do pre-mining. Yeah.
All right. So actually 14,000 transactions per second.
Yes.
So you beat, of course, Ethereum, of course, at the current state and even other chains. What makes Quarkchain actually stand out of the other chains? I mean.
Yeah, sure. This is a little bit complicated question because it's in terms of the tech part. But one word is sharding. Yeah. 2 word is stay sharding. So we are the first project who fully implement stay sharding. We just came to the Prague for DevCon. Yeah. The biggest topic for this year is sharding, especially stay sharding. So people may not know, so sharding is not a new word. It has been with Google and Facebook for over 10 years. So basically, people borrow this technology, sharding, from the centralized world and trying to apply that in the decentralized world. All our engineers came from Google and Facebook. So their previous experience are sharding. Definitely sharding in centralized world. Right. But now we're trying to apply that into the decentralized world, like many projects.
And sharding, just for the newbies, it's like a parallel network, actually, to put it very simple.
Yeah, it's like a horizontal network. You can think this way. So previously, people trying to increase a single chain scalability, right? So they can use new consensus. We know depots, BPFT, proof of history, proof of machine, or a lot of new consensus. All these new consensus is trying to make a single chain faster. What we do is we have multiple blockchain. So all these blockchain, one blockchain equal to 1 shard. So we can easily add 1 more shard or 2 more shards, but they will process all the transaction at the same time. Yeah. So systematically, we can increase the whole scalability as a whole.
It's actually also what Ethereum is actually planning to do, to put the old network in a new shard.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple way, but sharding is just a big word. Even for Google and Facebook, different projects have different way of sharding. So that's why we say there's stay sharding or other sharding. But people will think stay sharding is the best way for a sharding. And even for stay sharding, there's different methods. So Ether has their way of doing that, so we have our way, so to be more precisely. Yeah. But we all call it sharding, but we all believe sharding is a feature.
All right. So actually you have these transactions, it's decentral, it's secure. It actually can compete with a Visa network, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, so our testnet right now, so if you only mention like the TPS, this one metric, I don't think that makes sense. You have to tell people how many nodes you have. So currently in our testnet, there's over 6,000 nodes around the world. So we're trying to, because we haven't have our mainnet yet, but we're trying to mimic like when the mainnet came online, so trying to be as decentralized as possible, because all these nodes set up in the US, Europe, Asia, different place. These 6,000 nodes. Yeah, and then with these setups, so our peak TPS is about like 14,000. And we do have like a new like competition. So that one, we don't have like a strict requirement for the engineers. They just use our code, fork our codes, and use their own setup. Some of them have like 3 or 5 or like 10 nodes. So the highest TPS for this competition is 55,000.
And just a few more questions. What's actually the biggest challenge for you, technology-wise or organizational-wise?
Yeah, I mean, sharding definitely it's a very difficult problem. You may heard a lot of people talking about that, especially like Ether. So people think like, okay, they have the best engineers, blockchain engineers, right? They still suffer with this problem. So I have to say this is not an easy problem at all. For us, the thing is so we don't have like blockchain experience, but we do have a lot of sharding experience, distributed system experience, because blockchain, it's typically distributed system.
You have a very experienced team, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Exactly. So that's why we think we have the things to solve the sharding problem. So far, we haven't delivered everything we mentioned, but we already deliver a lot. And we have like a long roadmap. So by deliver things one by one, people will trust you more. I feel like in the blockchain area, there has been a lot of scientists, a lot of PhD or professor, which is great. But so as an engineering problem, we do need to deliver that fast, not only by doing slow research. It doesn't mean like I don't think they're not great, because so our engineers are also PhDs as well. We also have like research scientists. But we think a good combination of research background and engineering background, that can make you deliver things faster, not just stop on the white paper.
Last question is just a question we always ask is, what are your favorite altcoins? And you can mention 3, or you can mention Bitcoin.
Favorite altcoin? It's really hard because I cannot say Quarkchain. Except for Quarkchain, I think I would choose Bitcoin. So the reason is, if there's no Bitcoin, there's no cryptocurrency. There's no blockchain. So I will still stay in the big company, not big company, but at least traditional internet, like high-tech company. I may still doing like, data science or product things, not get into these fancy, faster growing fields, and which totally changed my life. Yeah.
And how is it to, actually also as a woman, because it's a very man-dominated world, but how is it to operate?
Yeah, so you're not the first man who asked me the question. I just had an interview and post in my Twitter because people trying to ask me as a woman, a lady, how to get into this world. So previously, only engineers, geek, interested in the blockchain technology. So there are very few ladies in this area. But people realize, to do a successful project, you need like good technology. You also need to do good like BD and communities, because a project without community support, you cannot go far. So for Quarkchain, so we are proud of our technology. We're also proud of our big communities. Thanks for everyone for the ICO support. After the ICO, we're still trying to behave better and better. So all these things, I think ladies do have advantage to communicate between the engineers and the audience. This audience may not include engineers, may include like all the other people who don't have that many technology background, but they also interested in the blockchain. So you have to use some word they can understand to tell them what is Quarkchain, what we're trying to do, why sharding is difficult, why we can solve the problem, and why we're the best to do that.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for your time and all the best.
Sure. Thank you very much.
All right.